feel like a girl who idolized like Nick Jonas dating Nick Jonas. Like, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. Oh, hello to all you wonderful people. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my newest video. This video is actually going to be a little bit different than my last few videos. I've decided that I'm actually going to do something kind of silly while I do a story time. So it's kind of like double entertainment. What I'm doing in this video today is I'm actually going to be talking about how Alex and I met, the whole story behind our relationship and all of that, while using waxing strips on my legs. This is not going to be fun. It's probably going to be painful. Unfortunately, my love muffin over there did accidentally throw away the instructions and possibly some of the other waxing strips that I had, but we're going to use what we got. We're going to see how it goes. I kind of have goosebumps, so we'll see how well this goes, but we're going to be waxing this leg because my leg hair is out of control, and we're going to see if waxing is better than shaving. From what I remember from the instructions from these is for these kind, there's two of them on here, so you tear them apart, and then you rub them between your hands until your hands make them warm, and then you stick it on your leg. And then you put it on with the grain and rip it off against the grain. So that's what we're going to try and do. And then they also give you this little bottle. This is Sally Hansen. So obviously I'm just getting started, so this is not sponsored, but we're gonna test it out and see how it goes. Alex and I actually first met online. It was this thing called Meet Me, which is now called My Yearbook. So we met on that. I was 13, he was 16, and he didn't immediately know my age. I was actually a little more developed when I was younger, so I looked a little bit older. I never lied about my age. We just hadn't spoken about it. Like, he hadn't asked me or anything. And then when he found out, he actually stopped talking to me. After he stopped talking to me, I was like, that's weird. But I was like, whatever. And for some reason, his name stayed in my brain. So there's that. So for years, his name just stayed in my brain. And I ended up working at this pizza place, the one that I'm actually working at now. And he actually worked at a different location of the same pizza place. And so this pizza place is locally owned. Like, all the stores are pretty close-knit and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. It's a cool kind of dynamic to have. Spinelli's. So I met him at Spinelli's officially in person. It was the Baxter Avenue store. So when I was 16, I started working at the Spinelli's East End store. 1, 2, 3. You didn't do anything. Okay, this one's gonna hurt really, really bad. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. It's like getting some, but it's not. It's annoying. Anyways, he was working at a bunch of other stores. And I actually went up to hang out at the Baxter location, which I don't know if he was working or just hanging out. But he ended up showing up, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And he said, "No, but you look familiar." And I looked at him and I said, "Did you ever have a Meet Me or a My Yearbook?" And he said, "Oh my god." That's actually what he said. So we ended up talking that night. We hung out all night. And then I ended up hanging out with him again. And I remember I went up to the Preston Highway location. And when I went up there, there were a bunch of people from Spinelli's that I knew. So when I went up to that location, there were like 3 or 4 people that I knew. We're going to do this giant one over here. So I go up to the Preston, I don't know why I remember this part either, but I go out to the Preston Highway location, and I was wearing this black top that was my friend Victoria's. It was like a 3/4 sleeve top, and it was black, and it was really low V-neck. So I wore that, and it had white lace on top with a blue skirt and some gray tights with, I think, either my maroon or my black combat boots. And it was a really cute outfit. It sounds kind of weird, but it was really cute. It was like a skater skirt, so it really accented my assets. Anyways, so I ended up going up in that outfit, and I looked so cute. And I remember Alex walked out, and he just started flirting with me. And he was telling me how good I looked, and we lost touch again. And we ended up reconnecting on Facebook a couple of times. And one time we reconnected, he ended up messaging me, and I said, hey, I would love to take you out on a date. And he said, okay. So I ended up taking him out. I'm going to do this right here. I ended up taking him out to dinner, and I paid because I felt I invited you, so I'm going to pay. And we went to this Italian restaurant because we both love Italian food. And ended up getting dinner and everything. I wore a dress. I looked all cute, all that kind of stuff. And he looked at me in the middle of the date after I called it a date a few times. He said, this is not a date. That would hurt. So he told me it wasn't a date, and I said, okay, this is not a date. It is something I'm going to pay for. And I saw him on one of his friends' Snapchats. His friend Alan. That's not his real name, but we're going to call him Alan because Alan's a butthole. And I'm not going to put anybody on blast, but you know who you are if you watch this. So Alan ends up putting Alex on his Snapchat. And Alan and I have been Facebook friends. And I had a Snapchat, so I didn't realize that they were friends. So I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? So I may or may not have done some crazy stalker stuff and asked Alan to hang out. While hanging out with Alan, I mean, I literally sat on the opposite couch of him. Like, I did not go near him. We didn't have physical contact for real. So Alan and I were in no way, shape, or form having any inappropriate whatever, you know. It was nothing flirtatious. I don't know. I might have flirted, but not on purpose, and I was not interested in him like that. And I ended up making a comment about Alex. And he said, oh my gosh, you know Alex? And I was like, what, you know Alex? And he was like, yeah, wouldn't it be funny if we invited him over? And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Alan invited Alex over, and we're all hanging out. And after Alex comes over, I just pretty much ignore Alan. And he ends up, after like 2 hours, he's just like, okay, bye guys, like, y'all gotta go. And I was like, that's probably my fault. But I don't care, because I got to see who I wanted to see. And, you know, I fully admit that I used Alan to get to Alex. 100%. I tell Alex this all the time. I did some crazy B shit. I did some crazy BS. Karma. Yes, I know that's karma right there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. Alex and I ended up hanging out for a while, and he started making comments about, like, oh, I'm your boyfriend, or like, if I was your boyfriend, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, you don't get to make those comments because you haven't asked me that question. I looked him in the face and I said, if you were to ask me to be your girlfriend, I would say yes. But you have not asked that question, so you have no right to that title. And he said, okay. And on the 25th of July, 6 days before my birthday, we were helping his cousin move. And while we were helping his cousin move, we went down to the store to go get some drinks, and he looks over at me and he says, "Hey, will you be my girlfriend?" And I said yes. There was kind of a downfall between us and his family members. So we ended up moving him out that night and went to my parents' house. And immediately my parents were like, "Okay, you all can stay here, but we need a game plan." And I said, "Okay." So the next day, my parents and I made a game plan with Alex and I made a game plan with my parents, is what I should say. Alex and I made a game plan with my parents about how long we would be in their house, how much we would want to save up, all that kind of stuff. And we got really close to meeting our goal. But I ended up, like a week later, I went off to Ireland to go visit my best friend, Victoria. Love you, boo. And left him alone with my whole family in the house. Sorry. But yeah, he lived there for a week before I left. And it was super awkward. So he just felt kind of awkward the whole time. And then he ended up coming and picking me up at the airport. He drove me to the airport in Cincinnati, which is where I left from, and came and picked me up from the airport in Cincinnati, which is where I came back. And my flight was delayed and all that kind of stuff, which was really annoying. My strip's on the floor. So, that was the happiest day of my life, to come back to him. This is the least happiest day of my life because I'm not seeing my legs. After that, we actually ended up moving a couple of days before we were supposed to out of my parents' house, and ended up moving into this beautiful apartment that we have now. And we have been here since, I think, February 1st. So we've been here since about February 1st. And I love living with this man. This man, normally when you move out with someone, you learn a lot about somebody. And the one thing that I've really learned about Alex is that if you ask him to do something, he'll do it. Like, it may take him a couple tries because he is a man, and but he is the sweetest and the smartest and the most comforting man that I have ever been with. This man is 24 and is more knowledgeable about cars than most middle-aged men are. He is extraordinary. He is he's just generally the most amazing man that I've ever met. And I am honestly lucky to have found someone so perfect for me. He's goofy like me. He's silly like me. He accepts every part of me. And I've never had that. My previous relationship, he had the same issues as Alex. Like, they had similar upbringings and all that kind of stuff. And my ex-boyfriend took it the wrong way. He took it the wrong direction. He was very mean and very rude and very racist and all this other kind of stuff, and just not someone that I wanted to be around. And Alex took his experience and he turned it into something positive. He made it to where he didn't want to be what he grew up around. He wanted to be the person that he was meant to be. He wanted to be the complete opposite of what he was raised to be like. He is smart. He is hardworking. He is motivated. He is just the all-around package. And I have been through a lot. He has been through a lot. We both still have doubts about a lot of things in this relationship just because we're scared. And with my past relationship, it was actually really hard because anytime that I would want to go out and hang out with friends or that I would want to go see my family, I couldn't. I was not allowed. I actually, when I was, we'll go into this a little bit more actually on a different date. But there were a few times where I would go and hang out with friends and he would say, "Oh, I'm going to come pick you up." And it wasn't fair. It was like I couldn't have my own life. I couldn't have my friends. I couldn't have my freedom because he wanted to control me all the time. So just going from that and now having someone so supportive who absolutely loves my family, who knows most of my friends, who was my really good friend before we even started dating, is just a completely different feeling to have. I've never had this before, and I feel completely blessed that I got a chance with the man that I chased for so long. I'm 21 now. Alex and I met when I was 13, so that's 8 years under my belt that I've kind of been stalking this man. Sorry, love, but I'm obsessed. And he knows all of this. He knows the entire backing of this story. He knows all the crazy things that I did. He knows everything. And he loves me for it. No matter what, he loves me through thick and thin. And that's the one thing that I would not trade the world for. He treats me like a princess. He's just... When I say he's the perfect man for me, I mean he is genuinely the perfect man for me. And I am so happy to have him in my life. And I'm so happy that he has been so accepting of me. Alright guys, I'm going to continue to try to get all of this wax off my legs that did not even work very well and I'm kind of salty about. But whatever. Maybe I should get a paper towel. Who knows? But if you all like this video, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and subscribe, comment, share, whatever. That's all good. And if you didn't, then that's cool. Maybe I'll make one that you will like in the future. Oh, P.S. I know y'all saw me rubbing those things between my hands for as well as I could. Those things are hard to use. So, unless you're like a pro, it didn't work super duper well, but it kind of did. I'm still gonna have to shave this leg, which is ridiculous. And I forgot to use it on my stomach because I have a happy trail. But honestly, probably like a 3 out of 10. I mean, it left most of the stickiness on my legs, but also I didn't have the instructions. So that might be user error. So maybe I'll try again and give it a different review. Maybe I'll buy another box and do a different video like this. But anyways, I hope you all have a good evening. I hope you all like this video, and don't forget to come back. So the entire time that I've been doing this video, Alex has actually been playing video games. So we're going to give you a little sneak preview. Say hello to Muffin. Hello. Also, don't forget that it's lobster season, so check on all your pale friends.